What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Best Ball Draft-a-Palooza, where we're drafting best ball teams all summer long. Brought to you by DraftKings, our partners. And we're taking a look today at, of course, we're going to be drafting another DraftKings Millie Maker. I have some extras, some little special things here that I'm adding in. We're going to be doing a rankings update. I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to show you how to upload the rankings directly to DraftKings, so that I'm even thinking about doing a little auto drafting here. So we have a big one in store for you here on Monday. Best Ball Draft-a-Palooza. Best ball teams all season long. But we had a big weekend of preseason action, and I always like to go through all the games and bring back any sort of like news nuggets, information, and that kind of thing. And this weekend, so I mean, I guess the biggest news is we had no injuries, no issues like that. No problems there. So nothing to worry about on the injury front. There are some concerning things happening that I think are worth noting. First of all, on the positive side, Jackson Dart for the Giants out there throwing darts, looking good. And it's telling me, I don't know what to make of it, but Jackson Dart has looked good in the preseason for the Giants. And my guess is we'll probably see him, becoming the starter for the Giants even sooner than expected. So, I'm thinking 6 weeks in, definitely during best ball process, we should see that. Concern in Pittsburgh. Caleb Johnson seems to be behind Kenny Gainwell. I don't know if that's just preseason stuff or whatever, but I don't really trust Kenneth Gainwell at all. But I'm starting to have a little bit of concern about Caleb Johnson. Not too much, just a little concern nugget, little teeny beany, itsy bitsy little nugget of concern there. Nothing to be overly worried about, but it's certainly interesting. In addition, this weekend, we kind of found out a couple things like Quinshon Judkins, no charges filed against Quinshon Judkins of the Cleveland, of the Browns. So he's still not signed with his team, though. So that's interesting. Still not signed, Judkins. But what if he does sign? Okay. A couple other injury updates, like Mixon still not playing, the foot issue. I've told you guys, concerning. That's one of the most mysterious spots. I do eventually sometimes draft Mixon, but he's got to drop down to about a 100 level for me to be interested. Judkins is in that zone too. And of course, I feel like I've updated this already, but the Rashee Rice information is that he will be, his hearing is set for the last week of September. So at this point now, we expect, dude, I don't know if the Mechie trade is even worth mentioning. Quite honestly, I don't know that that's even relevant. But he was traded to Philly. But bringing it back here, so wow, that threw me off, and I forgot who I was talking about. Judkins. Oh, Rashee Rice. Bringing it back to Rashee Rice. The whole fact that they set up a hearing for him, as opposed to what they did for Addison, which was hand down a verdict, and Addison said, okay, I accept it. What that implies to me is that the number that they told Rice's team was really high, and they want to fight it, right? So my take on it, again, and I've been saying this all offset, I could be wrong. All this shit could be pushed to next year for all I know. I don't have anybody in the commissioner's office giving me information. But right now, Rashee Rice is going in round 5 in these drafts. And what I think is going to happen is, okay, we'll get to week 4. He'll play the first few weeks. You're going to get and then a suspension will be handed down. And then how long is that suspension? Well, I would say at most 10 weeks, right? So there's that. K Sizzle, which one would you prefer? I'm looking at the $20, but I can do the $3 one. If everybody wants to kind of go lower dollar, let me know in the comment section. I can do that. And oh, by the way, guys, before you do anything, before you enter any DraftKings contest, go to the link in the description of this video. I have a link over to DraftKings that will set you up directly on a buy one, get one free. So you could do so it will activate a buy one, get one free for these best ball contests, specifically for the Millie Maker. So make sure to do that. Go right now. Go hit it up in the description of this video. We put a special link we got from DraftKings that sets up a buy one, get one for the Millie Maker. So make sure you do that. Start there. You're going to at least do, you got to at least do 2 of these $20 Millie Maker contests. Now, oh yeah, that was Isaiah Bond, right? Is that a wide receiver, Soups? So yeah. It's a wide receiver. Yeah. That's it. That is interesting. I didn't realize he could have been a second or third rounder. So that is somewhat interesting. I'm trying to go through the rest of the news in my head. There's a couple little things like, for example, Colston Loveland and Cole Kmet kind of splitting time at tight end for the Bears in the preseason games. Okay, like, all right, that's kind of interesting. J.K. Dobbins resting with the starters in Denver, kind of interesting, but I just think that's what they do. He's a vet and he should be rested. This one is interesting too, but I also have excuses for it. Olamide, like Luther Burden, did not play with the first team in Chicago. He played with the second team, but he looked really, really good with the second team. I think they're doing that just to get the younger player more experienced snaps. That's my guess. Like, I don't know how deep we need to read into some of these things. Another thing, with the Packers, Marshawn Lloyd injured again. That dude's always hurt. Who's the backup at this point for Josh Jacobs? By the way, Josh Jacobs is now setting. There's no backup there. There's no backup for Josh Jacobs. So he is setting up to be this guy that is going to get all the carries, just like last year. Like, I think Jacobs is probably a pretty good DFS and best ball pick because they're just going to feed him endless amounts of volume. There's no one else there. So I really like the Josh Jacobs. He's moving up the list for me. A couple other names moving up my list. I want to get into the rankings. So we'll get into the player rankings and I'll talk it through. What I'm going to try to do during this draft, I'm just trying to get a little crazy. Okay. So I want to mostly I'm going to show you guys how to do it. I'm going to upload my rankings to DraftKings right here. And we're going to mostly I'm going to mostly auto draft this one. I want to kind of see how that works. I'm testing out a theory based on just allowing the projections to do the work. So, and Jacobs does catch a pass. Yeah, he can catch a pass. He could do it all. He's a good, well-rounded running back. They don't throw it to him that much, but he's like an average pass-catching running back, catch 3 or 4 passes a game. Yeah, Jacobs is your generic, solid running back in the NFL. I did see the Brian Robinson Jr. trade rumors, but they seem stupid to me. No one's trading for Brian Robinson Jr. I just when you hear stuff like that, I don't really know what to make of it. Yeah, so I want to show you that stuff, but like I said, first things first, guys, make sure that you hit that link to get the buy one, get one. And let me get into this partnership. So, talking about DraftKings, football season is right around the corner, and there's no better way to lock in your fantasy dominance early than with Best Ball on DraftKings, where you draft once and ride your roster all season long. Right now, DraftKings is giving all customers a can't-miss offer, and this is what I'm talking about. Draft one, get one. Enter a lineup in the $15 million Best Ball contest for $20, and you'll score another Best Ball ticket to play free. Link in the description. Click it. Get over there. Get the buy one, get one. Get the free drafts, guys. And also, Best Ball Week is coming, so they're going to be dropping all kinds of promotions on your DraftKings app. Make sure you have the app, and they'll be dropping all kinds of I go on there every day. I'm like, oh shit, there was one yesterday. Buy like one. I don't even know what it is, but get a free ticket for an NFL contest in week 1 when you buy a best ball ticket. So they're doing all kinds of promos here. So you got to be taking advantage. Plus EV is taking advantage of all the promotions that these companies give out. All right, let's do a quick kind of tutorial. I don't know what I'm calling it, on how to upload the rankings, my rankings, if you want. I just updated my rankings, by the way, at dfsarmy.com website. So if you're, your main draft, whatever you're doing, we have a couple of different ranking systems. We have a draft kit. Our draft kit is put together by our fantasy football team, our season-long guys, the flex crew, Shane and them, and with some input from me. But my personal rankings that I'm working with all season long, up season, I've been putting it here in the best ball rankings tab. So if you're interested in what I'm doing and how I rank these players, I just did a massive update last night. So this is completely up to date. So we're going to download this for DraftKings. You just click on this little button right here. It's going to download it. Data 8 is what it's called. Get rid of that. And then here in the pre-draft ranking screen, I'm just going to click on Upload CSV. Going to grab what I just took, save it, bam. And now I've just updated the rankings here that you see to my personal rankings. Again, moving on up some players, moving down some players. I'm higher on some names than others. You could see if you look at the best ball rankings tab on the dfsarmy.com website and you click on the DraftKings tab, you can kind of see some of the spots where I'm above or below the field on certain players. Like clearly I'm a little higher on the field in some of these running backs, maybe a little lower on some other names. Certainly higher on Omarion Hampton, JSN, Devontae Adams, way over the field. And I'm under the field on some other names. The quarterbacks for sure. A.J. Brown, as you guys know, I'm very, very down on him. So, this is how it's all put together. I'm obviously way lower on Tyreek Hill and some other names than other people. I've been moving up in Trevion Henderson, but it's tough to actually catch up with the field. He is popping. That was another big takeaway from this weekend's festivities. Trevion Henderson just smashing again. Ramondre Stevenson was out, but Henderson just looks like the real deal. He's looking really, really good. Omarion Hampton looks really great. Ashton Jeanty looked good out there. A lot of the rookie running backs looking good out there, especially the touted ones, the highly touted ones. And one other name that's looking really good is RJ Harvey. I have a feeling about him. He's moving up my rankings again. He was too high earlier in the offseason. Then they got J.K. Dobbins, and that's pushed RJ Harvey back, I think rightfully. But RJ Harvey is now, for me, moving back up because he's so explosive. Good team, defensive team. They're going to run the football a lot. And I just think J.K. Dobbins is the kind of guy that he always gets hurt. I think he's going to get hurt, and we're going to get RJ Harvey leading fantasy football best ball championships and helping us win a share of this $15 million on DraftKings. All right, you guys ready? Let's get a draft going. Update your rankings if you want or not. I'm going to be talking through my rankings a little bit as we're doing this, if I can work that. So I want to try to go and kind of like just do top 20s for running back and wide receiver. Let's see if I can. I'm going to try to pull it off simultaneous to this draft. So let's see if we'll see if we can pull that off. All right, so we are live entering the $20 tournament. If you want to sync up and try to get in this draft with me, this is the time. Get ready. 30-second pick. We're in the Millie Maker. $2 million to first contest. 3, 2, 1. Enter. Let's go. Let's go. Let's see how many are in there. Ooh, 10 out of 12. Oh, it filled up. They're filling fast. They're filling really fast. Not sure if anybody got in there with me. That was quick. Let's see here. I don't see any. Oh, there's Soups. Soups, man, you're fast, dude. You are fast. Anybody else in here? Let me know. That was quick, though. All right. So again, we got Soups picking 5th. I'm not recognizing any other names, so maybe that's going to be it for this one. In terms of our overlaps, yeah, K Sizzle, that was very very fast. That happened so fast, Cohiba guys. I don't know. I don't know how to make it any different, right? I'm trying to get you in there, trying to draft together, but I guess we'll all kind of draft together, but in different ones. So as we do this, remember sort of our baseline premise for DraftKings. This is a contest with 800,000 entrants in it. Drafting chalk is not going to win. We've got to do something unique. You've got to do, yeah, there's a little delay. I think there may be like a 2 or 3 second delay on StreamYard, like streaming from when I do something to when you see it. It's not a big delay, but it might be a second or two. But remember, we are drafting against hundreds of thousands of people. So a chalk lineup not going to get it done. With that being said, the goal here is we've got to get past our initial group. So we'll be in a pod. This group will be together. Then the top 2 finishers will move on into the playoffs. And then in the playoffs, you've got to really turn it up, right? And the way that you traditionally try to turn it up in the playoffs in these best ball contests is by having heavy stacks of certain games, and big build team stacks so that you can build a team that can potentially pop at the right time, the last weeks of the season. So as we're thinking about that, we've got to get to the last weeks of the season and have our team pop it. So we like to build a little bit of correlation, build something around maybe a game that might happen in that last week of the season. But also, as we're thinking about our players, we can think about, okay, I don't need having players with a strong start that fade. That does not win here. We need players who are elevating and bringing their best game in the second half of the season as we get into the playoffs. That's a lot of reason why a lot of times, like rookies, sometimes that could really work out well, especially with rookie wide receivers that tend to come on stronger as the season rolls on. Sometimes we get the opposite effect with rookie running backs. They kind of wear out a little bit as the season rolls on. So you never really know. It's tough. Tough stuff. But let's take a look at the draft board here, see who's going where. Saquon Barkley, what a drop. Chase Brown, what the heck is going on here? Chase Brown, pick 1.6. Barkley drops all the way to 1.7. Excuse me? People are really taking it far. All right, we got a weird group. Got a weird group already. What the heck is going on? All right, so next up in my rankings, I'm gonna be true to the rankings here, guys. I'm gonna kind of let it auto draft. Malik Neighbors is up. What do you mean? I'm not gonna fight it. Why are you shocked? I'm because actually, if you look at the data, jumping ADP like that has not been a successful thing. Why would you? I get like, hey, let me not go chalk. But at the same time, if everybody in this contest has Chase Brown in round 2 or 3 and you wasted your first round pick on him, you're not going to win. Like, that is not the spot to get cute and weird. Every other team in this thing has Chase Brown from round 2 or round 3. There's 800,000 teams. So if you jump it in round 1, well, that you're going to have a material disadvantage. Oh, okay. I'm trying to keep the time. You're in a hurry. All right, I'll make the pick. I'm trying to extend it, talk through, show some rankings, talk through the rankings while we're doing this. It's not easy to do. Let's see what's coming up for the next pick. So the group went very wide receiver heavy. So it was running backs and then it was all wide receivers. Let's see what we got coming up here for our next name. It looks like we might get Ashton Janty, HN. HN, man, you want to get nervous. HN already with the Q tag, banged up a little bit. It's just a reminder that HN is the one. HN for me, him and McCaffrey, but I think HN more so. Probably the most fragile play of the entire, of the whole thing. HN is a very fragile pick right now. I'm going to take Janty here. Again, HN is a fragile pick. I've said this from the start because there's a combination of factors that concern me about him. First is the first thing with HN is He's a small running back. The guy is 190 pounds, 185 pounds. So he's unusually undersized. Gets the Q tags, gets banged up every year. It's certainly like a thing that happens with him. And so, fine. We know running backs are risky. He's a little higher risk because he's smaller, but hey, no big deal. I could deal with that. Okay, fine. Except here's the problem. Then he's tied in with Tua, who is as fragile of a quarterback as exists in the NFL. Yeah. Gordon looked okay. Jalen Wright has not looked good. I don't know about any of that. All I know is Achane, if he goes down, obviously, just like any other running back, he'll be gone. Fine. But if Tua goes down, Achane will turn into a turd. And that's nothing that I want. I don't want any of that. I don't want any of that smoke. Right. So I don't mind taking him. So I made a comment in one of these best ball streams, and then somebody came back at me, but then weren't understanding what I was saying. I said, I don't mind taking Achane in best ball because I'm making a lot of best ball lineups. So if like I treat these like GPPs, if a player gets hurt, he goes down, it ruins my season. I don't care. I've got so many other best ball lineups. It's not a big deal. But I definitely struggle, or I would say have extra caution in my redraft leagues against my friends in, or the higher dollar stuff in redraft. I have concerns about taking Achane, especially where you need to take him right at the 1-2 turn, where there's other good players, really good players that don't carry as much risk available. It's not like I'm saying take Achane or should I grab Tyrone Tracy instead. No, I'm saying when you're not taking Achane, Soups, you're on the clock. When you're not taking Achane, who are you taking in his place? You're taking Janty, you're taking Brian Thomas, you're taking Drake London, you're taking Chase Brown. There are other good players there. They're also good. Why do I need to take him? Why take the risk? There goes Trevion Henderson in round 3. So Trevion Henderson's ascension into, full overconfidence is now complete. And now you're taking Trevion Henderson. He goes in round 3. Now, of course, this bonehead guy, the Chase Brown guy, is the one who took him. Again, you Gotti, I just have to say, if you're in here with us, you're drafting in a style that is more conducive for a weekly elimination style contest than it would be for this contest. So, good luck with that. Good luck with that, sir. We'll see how that works out for you, buddy. George Kittle's moving up for me in the rankings as well. So as I'm going through my rankings a little bit here, hang on, we are on the clock. Josh Allen goes. Okay. I got Kyren sitting there. All right. But I have Devontae in my ranking ahead of Kyren. But I really like Kyren. They're both right there. Christian Janty. They're both really the same team. And both Kyren, I'm going to take Kyren there. But both Kyren Williams and Devontae Adams carry the same quarterback risk as well. So on that team, there's real risk that Matt Stafford's back, continues to give him trouble this year. And if that does happen, we're going to have a tough season. A tough season for, Puka and everybody connected to that team. We love Puka, but again, Puka, much like Ashton Janty, not like Ashton Janty, much like Devon Achane / everybody connected with Miami, Puka himself is an injury guy, gets hurt a lot, and then you tack on the quarterback, and there's concerns, there's risk. It's not concerns, there's risk. Puka, when he's healthy, is probably, he's as good as anybody. And when I say anybody, I mean anybody, any name. You name him, Puka's right there. But the guy gets hurt. Is this an early run on QBs? Lamar, I don't know about, I'm not going to say that. There goes George Kittle, though. And next on our ranking sheet, so is Jaden Daniels. So if I wanted to do a Jaden Daniels build, I could do that here. But I'm going to go Tet McMillan. I'm going to kind of put a stud wide receiver in there instead. So that's the problem. All right, so let's jump into the rankings real quick and just a little bit here. And I want to kind of like, let me see if I can refresh this here. Just going to do a quick read through as the draft rolls on. We can do a quick read through of some of these ranks. I have some time here, so we'll do a quick. Oh boy! All right, I need to do that off screen. I don't know how that happened. That was really weird. Why would that happen? Don't know. Oh. All right. So here we go. All right. There we go. So, yes, at running back. Oh, wow. Yeah, this doesn't show as well as I'd like to, but let me see if I can do this different. I'm not liking the way that's displaying. All right. So running back, my number one overall, Bijan. Sorry, this is not displaying right. Actually, I know how to fix that. Hang on. There we go. That shows a little better. Okay. Had the layout here configured more for DraftKings. All right, so number one overall, Bijan. Number two, Saquon. Number three, Jahmyr Gibbs. I've moved Christian McCaffrey up to number 4 overall just for his upside. It's too big. It's too big. If he's successful, he can outscore everybody. Following that up, I've got Derrick Henry, Ashton Janty. Achane and Chase Brown for me are now back-to-back. Achane just a bit of a higher scorer when everything is right, but much, much higher risk. So I've got Achane just above Chase Brown. Obviously, I moved Chase Brown way up there. We got Jonathan Taylor after that. Bucky, Omarion worthy. All of these guys are worthy of a pick. Yeah, oh, there it is. All of these guys are worthy of a pick in round 2. So up to really Omarion Hampton, I don't mind him all the way in round 2. Josh Jacobs now also moving on up for me, round 2 value. Then it starts to get gross. Kyron Williams, round 3, fine. But there is a massive, and guys, I want to make this very clear. There is a massive drop-off from me right after Kyron Williams to the next group. So Breece Hall, Chuba, James Cook, Henderson, definitely tier 3. Well, let's get the draft on screen. By the way, I want to make sure we're on the clock. Here we go. So there it is. RJ Harvey actually just went. Chuba. We have enough. I'm going to go Hunter. I'm going to go the next man up at wide receiver. So right now, by the way, on this draft, we've got Neighbors, McMillan, Hunter. So that's given us an interesting little kind of starting stack of Rooney, where we could look at Bryce Young. We could look at Trevor Lawrence. He'll burn your food like Florence. We'll get back to the rankings in a second, but I just wanted to get this on screen because that's my time here. So let's look at QBs. Yep, got plenty of them. Running back group. Again, according to my rankings, got Connor, and actually I could show it here. Got Connor, Swift, Pacheco. I moved Caleb Johnson now down. Let's see. I've got 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs. Look at the tight end. Kittle's gone. Yeah, so I'm going to go with my next man up, running back, DeAndre Swift, who I like. But, keeping this on screen here. This is working. So we got Pacheco, Aaron Jones, Tyrone Tracy moved up. Tyrone Tracy, all reports out of Giants camp is that Tyrone Tracy will be, that guy. So he'll have his same role, or he'll be the top guy. I've moved Mixon down a ton, K-Sizzle, but now I'm like, I'm trying to find a spot really for Mixon and Judkins. I could see pushing them down below Pollard and even Brian Robinson at this point. And Caleb. This is kind of the dead zone. Caleb, Mixon, Judkins. What if Mixon comes back and he's fine? Like, he could be okay. But listen, what do we do here on the best ball draft-a-palooza? We avoided Mixon when he was going in round 4 and 5 all season. We don't have any exposure to that. We didn't get him. We never took him. Ooh, Tony Pollard gets drafted. So there you go. That's interesting. So I see where you see a guy get kind of plucked from a few spots down. There's Matthew Golden going in this zone. Matthew Golden moving up in this particular draft. Was that you, Soups? Taking Matthew Golden there, I think, is a bit aggressive. I had him a little bit lower than that, but acceptable. Matthew Golden, though, is getting a lot of hype right now. And I like the best ball pick, so I don't have an issue with it. Quick bounce back to the rankings here. RJ Harvey went massively ahead of where I have him in this draft, but RJ Harvey is he's moving up for me. Yeah, Mixon, I have him down here, but I could see moving him down even further beyond Brian Robinson and Judkins and even Mason. Mason is not, Mason looking like the 1B. There goes Jerry Jeudy. So the order of this went a little bit interestingly. First of all, I like Igbuga there. Myers, fine. And I've made this decision. I've been staring at Debo, Myers, Igbuga, Waddle many times. It's a tough decision to make. Where's Pearsall? Pearsall must have went rounds ago. There it is. Pearsall up to round 5 right after Ridley. So Pearsall's the guy who's moved up a lot. I mean, the good thing about best ball, Marcus Jones, is we don't have to, we're not really messing with it, because if the guy doesn't come through, okay, whatever. It's best ball. That's a great thing for that particular offense. I want to elevate like Romeo Doubs only on weeks where he gets a bunch of targets, right? He can score 20, but it's not going to happen consistently. So in best ball, I think those guys are fine. We've got 3 running backs, 3 wide receivers, very, very, very level build, but I don't have any overexposure to a particular team. No kind of stacks a building as of yet. Although I have a weird idea to build a Jackson Dart late season stack where I get a bunch of the Giants guys, but instead of taking Russ, I take Jackson Dart with one of the last picks. Yeah. By the way, guys, week 1, Pearsall, CMC, and Kittle, lock them in. I've already done my DraftKings NFL week 1 first look, and those 3. Yes, please, right? Purdy. I love everything to do with that game. We're almost on the clock here, but NFL week 1, a lot of underpriced players already setting up. And I think Pearsall is the most egregious, but also George Kittle's underpriced. Based on what's going on, I think we're going to get some massive bargains. All right, let's see who's on the clock. We're on the clock. Hawkinson, Kelsey, Evan Ingram. Okay, they don't overlap with anything. Get another wide receiver here. I find myself taking a lot of Josh Downs, but I just really like him. So he's next man up on my rankings. I'm just going to stick with it and try to do my best to play the rankings here. I think I've got to consider a quarterback pretty soon. 3 stud wide receivers. Now we got a 4th guy in Josh Downs. 3 starting running backs, all pretty good ones. So nice, well-rounded team so far. Back to the rankings. So, I mean, that's pretty much the running back rankings. I always, for me, running back, if we're talking season long, and for these formats, a lot of what's going to make or break you, especially in your full season long, is going to be, the backups that you get. Again, season long, you really want to place a bunch of studly backups on your bench. Purdy May. All right, I think I'm going to try to squeak out one more round Let's go Evan Ingram here. He's one of my favorite sort of sleeper tight ends. I'm going to try to squeak out one more round, and then we'll start to grab some quarterback talent. But back to it. So when we talk about the running back position, let's talk about some of the names like in our season-long draft and here in best ball that we want, like our bench stashes that can win us the league. Guys who we're taking late. And top of the list for me is Trey Benson, of course. He's going to play 1A, 1B. Jordan Mason is another one. Both young running backs that are playing behind older injury-prone veterans, right? James Conner can get hurt. Aaron Jones always gets hurt. So we want those kind of players. I'll give you another one who gets hurt a lot. Kenny Walker, who backs him up. I think Charbonnet might be better than Kenny Walker. Charbonnet, Trey Benson. Yeah, Marcus Justice Hill. Yeah, I don't know. Some of these spots, I don't think they're not lock button the backup. And that's the concern. When I'm going to store a player on my bench all season long, I want to make sure that if I'm right, or if the scenario that happens, DJ Giddens is another name. Will Shipley is another name, where if the starter goes down, I get a lockdown RB1 smash guy on my team for free, right? That's the bargain hunting that I do. Jarquez Hunter, last pick, fine. I like Elijah Moore in that spot. But last pick, the backup running back guy, fine. DJ Giddens solidifying the role behind Jonathan Taylor on the Colts. I'm interested. Will Shipley on the Eagles, solidifying that role behind Saquon Barkley. Interested. Jalen Wright continues to look like the backup on Miami behind an injury-prone Achane. I'm interested in that. Those are the names. That's how you win your leagues. I think that's how you win these leagues too. Heavy wide receiver early, and then you can kind of load up on those guys. And if one of them emerges, that's how you get it. A really interesting one, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt from the Commanders team, right? Rumors floating around that the Commanders are looking to are talking about are willing to trade B-Rob, anything. My issue with Hunter is it's not that he's taking his carries. There's still Blake Corum. I'm not convinced that Blake Corum won't be in the game if he goes down, and that's why I don't like it. All right, we need a quarterback. I want I would prefer one. Kyler Murray. I don't have any correlation with Kyler Murray. Oh man, David Njoku, running back. What about a running back here? Scattaboo, Trey Benson. No, we're going to take Drake May. We'll take a running quarterback. I can build around Drake May. There are some other spots there. Yeah, Blake Corum has looked good. So why am I taking Jarquez? Because there's another guy, and I'm not sitting here and claiming that I know for sure who, like, we're looking for teams where we know solid. If I'm right, like that's part of the problem with the Jaguars. I'm not sure if Travis Etienne goes down. Is it going to be Spears? Is it going not Spears? Is it going to be Bigsby? Is it going to be Bajal Tuden? I don't know. So those spots, there's too many. When I add up the percentage likelihood of something happening, you have to look at things in probabilities, right? So I start to look at everything in terms of probabilities. Who was the other quarterback that I wanted here? Bryce Young. Somebody took him? No, he's way down the list. Okay, fine. So let's grab Trey Benson here. But possibilities and probabilities. So let's say, think of fantasy football in terms of probability, especially the running back position. Here's what I mean. 20% probability that any starting running back gets hurt. Just apply it as a flat rate. 20% probability. So 80% of the time, that's not going to happen. So I've got a small sliver of 20% of the time that a starting running back will get hurt and a backup will come in. So in order just to be right about that, I'm going to be wrong for 3 times out of 4. So when I finally do catch the right one, Now, if I only give myself a 50-50 chance that the running back backup that I picked is actually going to elevate into a major role, well, that reduces my chances from 20% shot that this random backup running back I got will give me help to only 10%. Now, if I do that 4 times with 4 different players, well, if I am at the full 20%, it's 20, 40, 60, 80. Okay. All right. Got a pretty good chance that one of these guys is going to have a starter go down, and one of these backups will be relevant, like I did it 4 times. But if I reduce it to just 10, because the backups I'm picking are also 50-50 shots, now, even if I defy the odds and 4 of my one of my 4 running backs go down, instead of an 80% chance at I have a lockdown starter, now I'm at only 40%. You understand? So it's all about probabilities for me when it comes to these backup running backs. Yeah, at some point here, there we go. Yeah, I was going to say, at some point here, we got to take Mixon. We don't know that he's not going to play. Same thing with Judkins. Like, we're getting to the point now, we're pretty late in this draft. We're at what, pick 100 almost? Where are we at? Pick 120. Okay? We're at pick 120. Judkins still on the board. Well, it also tells me I've got to move Judkins down on my ranking, so we will be doing that as well. But I think Judkins is going to move up once he signs. So actually, I'm going to try to get Judkins here if he's still on the board when my pick comes up. Let's look at the wide receiver group. It's not, the QBs are not getting snatched up that fast. I have Drake May here. I definitely need another 1 or 2. I definitely need 2 more now that I started here. I'll try to get like a T-Law, but we got some time before my next pick. So we'll see. I have a feeling we're going to miss out on a lot of good names here. Let's see how this goes. Oh, Judkins goes. So Gibo, this guy, took Judkins there at pick 120, and I think that's a perfectly good place to take him. We're not really. So what's beautiful about this is a player that was going in round 4 or 5 most of the offseason. Those people are fucked, right? Because now people are getting him in round 11. So if he does go off, he's going to be helping the guys who took him in round 11, not the ones who took him in round 5, just because that's how DFS works. It's like, if I paid $9K for a player and you paid $6K for the same player, the guy puts up a 25. That's much, much, much more powerful for you when you paid a cheaper price than it is for me. Just kind of hit his 3x score for me, but for you, you got a 5x. You understand? That's the difference. Think about players' position when you draft them in best ball the same way as we think of salary. The higher we pay, the more points we need from that player. The lower we pay in terms of his draft position, the fewer points we need. That's the whole difference. I never even thought of that. Like, I just came up with that sitting here. The thought of treating these guys, like, think of their draft pick spot like their salary, which effectively it is. Salary is a replacement for draft position. All right, Ray Zanny, give me your whole dynasty thing, right? What pick and where? Yeah, Tyler Shook, Giddens, those are all nice third. Why do you have so many junk picks in the third round? Who'd you take in round middle of my dynasty? 5 RBs. Samson. I feel like Samson in the second. I had 1 second and 4 thirds. And your second must have been late if you took Samson there. Like, how late in the second round did you take Samson, and ahead of who? So there goes Mims Jr., another player I absolutely love this year. Love him. Love him in best ball. In all formats. Let's see. All right. Yeah, we see here the running back group is pretty much in the dead zone now. I have how many QBs on my team? I have 2, one of them being T-Law. Okay, I can get some. All right, so we're gonna pair up. I don't know how much I love this player this year, but we're gonna pair up Kyle Williams here with Drake May. Kyle Williams, I'm not gonna say he's separating himself so far in training camp, but who knows? So I don't feel a lot of confidence in Kyle Williams. That would have to actually. There's just too many names. Samson went to, okay, in a 16 team. That makes more sense because a lot of the names you're spitting out here were like 4th rounder. 16 team, 206. You're ready. That's really pick 24. So that's for a normal 12 team league. That would be kind of the end of round 2, which is okay, acceptable based on what we know now. I'm curious to where Quinshon Judkins went in that draft. I'm going to guess because I do a lot of dynasty drafts too. I know the numbers. I'm going to say Judkins goes in that draft, pick 1.12 to 1.14, somewhere in the 12 to 14 range. Give me the answer, Ray. Let me know if I'm right. Maybe those nutless monkeys let him drop a little more. There it is. Fucking nailed it. Right there. 201, which would have been what? 1.16. Wow. That's or 1.17, pick 17 overall. That's actually lower than I thought. That is probably the lowest that Judkins has gone in this offseason. So peak distaste. There's Krosky Merritt, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. That's what I was talking about. I really like, if there was any takeaway from what the rumor about trading away Brian Robinson, which by the way is not going to happen. They're not going to trade him. No one's trading for Brian Robinson Jr. Brian Robinson, not Brian Thomas. Yeah, no one's trading for Brian Robinson Jr. That's not going to happen. But the fact that the team is open to it tells you maybe they like this Krosky Merritt kid. Yeah, there could be worse things than one of your guys, especially if you had the great early values in Brown and Keenan Allen. Remember when we were doing the Patrick, did you get the buy one get one? Click on the link in the description. It should take you to buy one get one. But there's more. There's more coming all throughout the week and next week too. It's like best ball season. DraftKings is going out, so just be ready for all these promos and make sure you're checking. I think in the app. Because I don't find as much on the website. I find them more in the app. But I also have the link to the buy one, get one in the description. So if you click that link, it should take you directly to a BOGO offer. Or that's what I'm told. That's what they tell me. Romeo Dubs, good best ball guy. Let's see what the rankings are saying right now. Okay, so again, I have my rankings plugged into this here. And you can see the next group. Now, I do need, and I would like to try to get another QB here and Bryce Young if I can. So I'm going to kind of do that if he makes it to me in this next pick. I could wait another round. No, I think it's too risky to wait. I'm going to take him here if I can get him. And then I'll complete like one more stack. Yes. And now from here on out, what I'm going to try to do is build around these plays. So like you see here, Xavier Legette, rather than as much as I like some of these other names, I'm going to try to get Xavier Legette there. Yeah, I couldn't wait. You're right, Cohiba. I had to take him. I had to do it. Got to do it. Yes. Yeah, they're spilling out new ones every day. There's another one like for the $555 contest, but I'm not going to recommend entering that. That's a lot of money in a giant tournament. Even me and my bankroll can't handle $500 best ball entries in giant tournaments. Yeah, that's right. There was a whole other thing here, guys. I forgot to mention the leaderboard thing. I didn't fully understand it, But apparently, like there's a promo going, like these drafts that we're doing now, you like compete like for a week 1 leaderboard, and if you put up a smash score in week 1, you can actually win a share of like 50 grand. I don't want to say it wrong, but you're winning a share of something. There's a real prize available. All right, so we got Gesicki, Taylor, Janu Smith, likely Hunter Henry is down here. Who's the other running back? Brenton Strange. He's already gone. They took him. Okay. Oh, the last pick guy got him. So I want Hunter Henry, but I think I can wait on that. Let's get Leggett here to pair up with our Bryce Young. So we got Bryce Young, Leggett, and Tet McMillan on one team. I've got Hunter paired up with Trevor Lawrence. And then we've got Drake May paired up with Kyle Williams right now. Yeah, you went in that. I'm not going to do that. Listen. I love all forms of DFS, best ball, all that. I'm not doing this. The 555. I did $1,000 one like a year and a half ago, and it was very painful to not win it. And that was a small league against like 20 people or 12 or something really small. And I was like, man, I'd rather just do a lot of these. No, in the 555, it's not about being fit. Like in the 555, that in the giant mega contest, it's just an expensive GPP entry. You can't judge yourself based on it. Let's just do a little kind of overview of what's been going on in this draft. So we had, again, this run of backup running back types with Chubb all the way out to Spears here. Spears is a good pick there. I got Bryce Young and Leggett, so I completed another stack. I've already got a fourth running back because we got Dre Benson. So we have one of our backup running back potential elevate to a starter. I've got all three of my QBs covered. I've got 4 out of the 5 or 6 running backs that I want. I've got 6 wide receivers, only 1 tight end. So on the next round, I will be looking to kind of get correlative tight ends, probably like a Hunter Henry type of guy if I can. Brenton Strange already gone. So the only other one would be, so I guess, connected to Bryce Young, which is who's that guy? Yeah. Dalton, Jatavion Sanders. Yeah, Jatavion. So we'll put a little star on him. Get a little star going on Hunter Henry here. We'll see if we can grab some of these guys in the next rounds. Let me star up some players that are connected to my quarterbacks here. There aren't too many left. Yeah, we got Diami Brown. We got Slayton because I might build a backdoor Giants stack. Guys, can you think of any other wide receivers that are connected to my quarterback group here? We got Drake May. So with Drake May, we have we definitely have some more. Keyshawn Boutte, Demario Douglas. Oh, he's gone. All right. Well, we still have Keyshawn Boutte. So I'm just starting off some of those names. Keep an eye on them. Thornton, kind of locking down that WR3 role for whatever that's worth. Well, not that much, but for whatever that's worth, kind of getting that on lockdown. I hope this guy doesn't take Hunter Henry. I got to move Hunter Henry up a little bit in my rankings as well. Oh my God. Are you serious? Is that person in here? How is it even possible? All right, I'm just going to take a, quote, good tight end here in K. Dotton then. That was annoying. I mean, I was like, that was crazy. Why would you take? I don't know. Like one pick before, now this guy's going to take my next guy. Like, oh, he identified Jalen Wright. I'm going to take him. Oh, there we go. And Jalen L is not a bad pick there either, by the way. All right, we're going to take Wright, another premier backup RB. So I'm pretty much filled up at RB. I might grab like an Elijah Mitchell at the end, but at this point going forward, I want to just beef up wide receiver and tight end. So we pretty much know where we're going with the next few picks. Yeah, just a random snipe. Like, why are you doing that? Don't do me like that. I've spoken at this quite a bit, but as you guys know, I'm definitely not a big fan of handcuffing in these contests. Roshan, let's say I have DeAndre Swift on my team, which I do. I really tend not to take a Roshan. I don't mind. It's like not the worst thing in the world to do, but my philosophy is that if I take Roshan, if I'm like taking handcuffs for my guys, I'm competing against teams that took those handcuffs, but didn't draft those players. They drafted better players. Like if I take DJ Giddens to back up Jonathan Taylor in best ball. Now, again, this is the polar opposite of how I play season long or eliminator type of contest. But in this style of best ball, if I take Will Shipley because I have Saquon Barkley and I want to back him up just to like back me up, fine. But how the hell am I going to win that league? Because the team I'm going up against has Will Shipley also, but instead of taking Saquon Barkley in round 1, they have Jamar Chase. So that team is so much better than mine just by the default of having Chase, where I have an injured player, that the likelihood of producing a win in that scenario is severely diminished because I'm at such a disadvantage to other teams in the tournament. And yes, Soups, I agree. It does matter a little bit, or I would say almost more so. It matters where you took the player. Like I think I can get away with it if we're talking about backing up James Conner with Trey Benson, because Conner, I'm not taking him in round 1. I'm taking him around 5. Or like if the player I'm backing up is a 6th, 7th round, if that's the case, it's less egregious. I think it's at worst when it's like a 1st or 2nd rounder, because that effectively locks in that my 1st or 2nd rounder is injured and not producing. And no matter what's going on, when your 1st or 2nd rounder is not producing, you're at a disadvantage. Guys, real quick, don't forget that it's not just best ball season, it's DFS season and backtest season at DFS Army. Guys, last week we went through weeks 1 through 8 of the 2024 NFL season. We reran the whole thing. We had streams, 2 hours, 2.5 hours each night. I can't even talk. So much streaming, right? And we're streaming every night. We're using the Domination Station Optimizer, the most powerful optimizer in existence, the most customizable optimizer from DFS Army. The Sim Boost rules everything. Run up to 600 lines in one button push. And so we've been running that and rerunning the 2024. We've been redoing the 2024 NFL season, trying to go through our rankings, our notes, everything that we can look at. I need another tight end here, guys. I'm going to go Jatavion just for the correlation. I don't know. Why not? So we're going through everything that we can to try to get in shape, so to speak, in game shape for the upcoming NFL season. We've done weeks 1 through 8 so far. This week we're going to do weeks 9 through 17. I don't do week 18 in the backtest mode. So we're going to hammer that out this week. And then we're going to move on to a little bit of showdown backtesting action. So in DFS Army, when you want to play DFS, we don't just put you, I can't do FD, guys. I don't have unless you have the final score of the contest, I don't have a way of knowing what won the tournaments on FanDuel. So I don't have a database for that. If anybody does, let me know and we will. But as of right now, I don't have that. So I don't have any way of knowing what's winning those tournaments. Let's see here. I wanted to try to get Dart. Is he gone? I guess not. I guess we won't be getting Dart. All right, let's go Diami Brown. And we're just sort of building up our Jacksonville stack with the Diami pick. I like the correlation. We're going to go through this lineup at the end. I like the correlation. I think we've built a pretty well correlated one. Soups, you're really good at correlate. Where's Ivan Drago today? How's Drago? Flacco named the starter. That's big news. Franklin with Denver at wide receiver. Franklin is what he is. WR4 or 5 on his team. I'm not excited about him. Could certainly win us a game. You have no. With that pair, you do not need a third QB at all. Don't touch any more QBs. As a matter of fact, with that pair, do not touch any other QBs. Just build everything else up. So, and you don't need any correlation with that pair, really, or minimal. It's not that important. Where were we? So, I'm building a pretty good one here. I'm pretty proud of it. But back to the DFS Army stuff. Yeah, so we're gonna finish up our NFL full slate back testing, and then we're gonna get into some showdown stuff in the next week after that. So we just have a couple weeks left for the season to start. But part of the deal, guys, is I don't want to go into the season NFL week 1 and out of practice. We remind ourselves of the options, the sim boost rules, all the things. In our first 3 weeks, I think we hit the nuts lineup on like the second button push. And for almost all the slates, it's gotten weird. I would say like weeks 5, 6, 7, like got a little weirder, a little tougher. But we kind of go back and forth in the first couple weeks of the season as we back tested. The first run with the basic options got us like top 10 lineups in most of the contests. It's crazy. And you have a little randomization on. And so what I would say, guys, is part of what we're trying to convey with the back test season, back test in the domination station, is to convey, listen, you don't have to do that much here. We have a powerful tool. You add in a couple of your customizations. We've done better when we've for me, I look at the sheet that I put out every week, my Geeks Pick sheet. I take the players from that sheet and I take the players from that sheet and I kind of I'll only use those quarterbacks for an example in the back test. They do better. So we've done well with our picks last year. When we went through it, we went through a lot of like my sheets from last year, but that fucking guy was on point in a lot of spots. A lot of big misses too. There was a week where I was super core play on Dak Prescott. I think he was at home against the Lions, and they literally shit the bed like crazy. Yeah. I mean, at least he got Flacco. And now Flacco's starting, so he got a starter. I want to see what this knucklehead guy wound up doing for this entire draft. I don't know that it got weird after his first picks, but so where was I? Yeah, so back testing. So if you're not signed up for DFS Army, you're watching this stream and you've wanted to get into DFS, you want to learn, you want a team. If you're looking for a team that's going to help you learn, because DFS is in a mature phase at this point. If you're just starting out and you're kind of like no clue what you're doing, that's a tough ask, right? Part of what we do at the DFS Army is we teach the process. We teach how to use the tools that we have. And there's many tools at your disposal, the research stations, all that information. And you can make it better than what we're showing. But at the very least, we get you going with like a basic way of how to use this stuff, right? How to practice it. That's the worst. People don't practice. I always say, how do you know that you are even worthy of a person that should, max out a tournament, right? Are you just maxing out tournaments with hopium? You're just hoping? Yeah, Tolbert's still available here? Really? Okay. Are you just making lineups with hope? There's Larry Barbie. What's up, my man? Are you just making lineups with Hopium? Or are you, hey, I've done this and I've seen in backtest mode that this approach works. Guys, why would you spend your money, hundreds and hundreds of dollars, entering a contest if you don't know? If you don't know, hey, this approach that I'm using sometimes wins tournaments. You're not going to win every tournament. It's 1 in 100,000. It's 1 in 50,000. You're not going to win these frequently. But at least if you're running lineups and you're in backtest mode and you're able to get top 10 lineups using a set of circumstances, or you're able to hit top 10s like somewhat occasionally. Keyshawn Booty, what's up, Ray Zanny? Keyshawn Booty, that's for you. Mortgage. Let's go. So yeah, if you're not able to put some lineups into the top 20 of these contests, even in backtest mode, you definitely shouldn't be spending your money on that. Now, I have a whole other video out talking about lineup selection, contest selection. If you haven't seen it, you must go watch it. But the short of it is play in the multipliers, and it will show you the math why most of your money should be played in the 10x, 20x, and 40x multipliers if you play DFS and you want to turn a profit. So do that, right? There it is. There it is in the chat, guys, if you want to go see that video. Now, other important thing is when you want to put most of your money in those, but we still want to attack these tournaments. So that's the whole idea behind backtesting mode. Guys, if you want to check that out, you want to be part of DFS Army, promo code NFL20, NFL25 is $50 off the full year of all football or NFL only. That's 12 months, 12-month package. Doesn't matter when you do it. And then, of course, if you want to be a part of the VIP package, which covers all sports that we do, everything, and we cover everything, our NASCAR, our MMA, our niche sports are where it's at. Where you see the most helmets. I believe somebody was in here before. Yeah, we crushed another slate of MMA this week. Yeah, Soup saw it. All the avatars in first place. If I didn't stupidly uncheck Morales, because I was all over Alex Hernandez, if I hadn't unchecked Morales this week, I too would have won. I went back and reran that shit in backtest mode. One unchecked because I got a little overconfident in the spot. I didn't share in the winnings. All right. Best ball. Draftapalooza. Let's take a look at this draft that we did here, guys. And I'll just kind of take you through the draft here. So we started with Malik Neighbors because that was the ranking. Got Ashton Janty in round 2. You know, it was a decision between Achan and Janty there, and then Kyron Williams in round 3. So we got a couple of stud running backs. Started off with a wide receiver that's not really stackable. Not really stackable. I love MMA, Eddie Perez. That is absolutely right up there for me with NASCAR and NFL as like my favorite DFS things to do. And I'm, I do the podcast sometimes here. Yeah, love it. We have a great team though in DFS Army. Sniper, Vince, and Monk and Gino. All the guys. They're really, really great team that are helping with that stuff. So, Ted McMillan, Hunter. So I got a Carolina player. I got a Jacksonville player here. I got my third running back off the board and Josh Downs here. Evan Ingram, really excited about him this year. So Drake May, we take Drake May. Don't have any correlation up here. Was trying to get Hunter Henry. Somebody just weirdly sniped him. So then it was Drake May. We got Trey Benson, Trevor Lawrence. Now Trevor Lawrence is stacked with Hunter. And then De'Ami Brown. Got 2 pieces. I've got Drake May stacked with Kyle Williams and Keyshawn Booty. And then we've got Bryce Young stacked with Leggett, Sanders, and Ted McMillan. So a couple of very heavy stacks. I'm excited about them. Mid-level, we got Drake May, running quarterback. A lot of good QB action here. So I'm pretty happy with it. The only weird thing I saw in this draft was this Ugatti person taking Chase Brown in round 1. Let's see if he did anything else weird. Nope. That's okay. That's fine. No, he just made one kind of weird move. Pretty good trio of QBs there with Burrow, Murray and Goff, but I'm not seeing really any correlation at all. None whatsoever. That's okay, but no correlation for that person. But certainly a lot of Chase Brown early. And then Soups in it with us. Soups is always Soups. I find that you are a yeah, Sniper's in there. We really have a lot of help for and Sniper wins. Sniper, I think, won the tournament this weekend as well, or last weekend. He is a very, very frequent tournament winner. There is no rule setting on the Dom station, Larry Barbie. I just set exposures for MMA. There's no rules to make. Every match is unique and not correlated to another match or fighter. So I don't make any rules. I just sometimes force exposures. I don't trust like projections in MMA. I work on exposures. How much do I want of each spot? The whys are in the notes. The whys are watching the tape. It's just all, in the odds and all that stuff. And in the ownership, leveraging. Like we had Jessica Andrade at 48% owned this week as an underdog. It's like, dude, I'm not playing that. She ended up losing, but it was a close fight. But like, even if she won a decision, it just wasn't worth it at 50% owned to play an underdog. Like stuff like that. You just have to make smart DFS decisions. So as far as Soups goes, let's see what you did here, Soupski. Soupski, CMC, Josh Jacobs, great start. We got Evans, Williams, Pearsall, just good players all over the place. No correlation. Warren, Charbonnet, and then we got our first guy, Mayfield, paired up with Mike Evans. Okay. No Igbuga here. Get Keenan Allen, solid. Peanut Tillman, okay. And we got Samwise Darnold, who is paired up with no one. Oh, with Horton. All right. Soupskis. Oh, here we go. We got Cleveland. We got Flacco. Tillman. Yeah. This is less correlation, Soups, than I've seen on your there it is. I'm like something went a little bit off there. That's a little less aggressively correlated than what I'm normally expecting to see. You had Pearsall. I guess you're trying to get Purdy there. Nice. Guys, that's going to do it. Best Ball Draft Palooza for Monday. We will be back tonight. Backtest season is back. In order to participate in backtest season, you've got to be signed up. We only get that. That's only for DFS Army subscribers, because if you're not, what do you need to learn how to use the Domination Station Optimizer for? You don't need it. So, but if you're signed up, DFS Army subscriber, do the full year plan. See it down below. 12 months. Promo code DFSA24, or even more better, I would say. Sign up for DFS Army VIP. We got 50% off with promo code NFL2025. That's half off of VIP for your first month. That's what you want. It covers all sports. Special thanks to our sponsor for this video, DraftKings. Don't forget, buy one, get one. Link in the description below. It's Best Ball Week. Promotions every single day. Take advantage of the promotions. You got to go to your app, click on the promos tab, scroll across, opt in for all these promos. Get the free stuff. It's going to be a great season. I can't wait, guys. I'll see everybody back tonight for back testing weeks 9, 10, 11. We're going through it. We're reliving 2024, getting all the tingles back. And by the end of this week, we're going to be ready. We're doing our own training camp. It's like NFL. I got to get a Hard Knocks filming like what's going on in the background. Like, hey, prepping for the season. It's Geek's house. See me just sitting around at a computer. It's boringest show ever. Boringest Hard Knocks ever. There's no drama. Maybe we won't do that. All right, best ball season back on Wednesday, guys. Good luck. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time. Deuces.